Hi, everyone. Today, we're exploring the depths of Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics, a cornerstone of philosophy that's all about living well and doing good. It's fascinating how ideas from over 2 millennia ago can still guide us toward a more fulfilling life. We'll break down Aristotle's insights into practical advice that you can apply in your daily life and leadership roles. Ready to see what wisdom awaits? Let's get started. Book 1. The Good for Humans. Aristotle starts with a bang, posing the big question: what's the ultimate goal for humans? He argues that happiness, or eudaimonia, isn't about fleeting pleasures, but achieving a state of being well and doing well in a moral sense. This happiness is the highest good because it's self-sufficient and the end goal of human actions. But it's not for the faint of heart. True happiness requires living in accordance with virtue. Aristotle insists that this virtuous activity must be consistent, not just a one-off. He also differentiates between goods that are instrumental for achieving other goods and those that are good in themselves, placing happiness firmly in the latter category. Ultimately, Aristotle sets the stage for a life where success is measured by virtue and moral integrity, rather than wealth or power. Book 2. Moral Virtue. Aristotle dives deeper into virtue, framing it as a habit or trained disposition to choose the mean between excess and deficiency. He clarifies that this mean isn't a one-size-fits-all, but is relative to the individual. Moral virtue, then, comes from habituation and not from nature. We become virtuous by practicing virtuous acts. This idea is revolutionary because it suggests that virtue isn't innate, but can be developed through conscious effort. Aristotle emphasizes that to develop these virtues, one must not only perform virtuous acts but also understand, choose, and commit to them for their own sake. He warns against the common pitfalls of going to extremes, advocating for a balanced approach to character development. By understanding and practicing the golden mean, individuals can cultivate a strong moral character. Book 3. Responsibility and Decision. Responsibility and the capacity for decision-making are central to Aristotle's discussion in Book 3. He introduces the concept of voluntary actions as those done with knowledge and without external compulsion, highlighting the importance of intentionality in virtuous actions. Aristotle delves into the complexities of human actions, distinguishing between voluntary, involuntary, and non-voluntary actions to unpack the nuances of moral responsibility. He argues that true virtue involves making reasoned choices, a process that requires wisdom and moral insight. Book 4. Other Moral Virtues. Aristotle extends his examination of virtue by exploring various other moral virtues, including generosity, magnanimity, and honesty. He describes how each virtue represents a mean between two extremes, such as generosity lying between wastefulness and stinginess. Through examples, he illustrates how these virtues play out in everyday life, emphasizing the importance of context in determining the virtuous mean. Aristotle also discusses the social implications of virtues, noting how they contribute not only to personal well-being, but to the health of the community. This book underscores the complexity of virtue, showing that moral excellence involves a range of qualities that guide our interactions with others. By cultivating these virtues, individuals can achieve a harmonious and fulfilling life. Book 5. Justice. In Book 5, Aristotle tackles the concept of justice, a cornerstone of social virtue that ensures fairness and harmony within communities. He differentiates between distributive justice, which concerns the equitable distribution of goods, and corrective justice, which deals with rectifying wrongs in transactions. Aristotle emphasizes the importance of proportionality in justice, ensuring that benefits and burdens are allocated according to merit. This discussion highlights the relational nature of justice, showing how it depends on societal norms and values. Aristotle also introduces the idea of equity as a form of justice that goes beyond the letter of the law, addressing the spirit of fairness in unique situations. Through this exploration, Aristotle presents justice as not just a personal virtue, but a societal necessity for the common good. Book 6. Intellectual Virtues. Aristotle shifts focus to the intellectual virtues, essential for achieving practical wisdom and understanding. He distinguishes between theoretical wisdom, which concerns unchangeable truths, and practical wisdom, which guides ethical behavior and decision-making. Aristotle argues that practical wisdom, or phronesis, is crucial for moral virtue, as it enables individuals to deliberate well about what is good and beneficial for living well. He also explores other intellectual virtues, such as scientific knowledge, intuitive reason, and artistic creativity, showing how they contribute to a well-rounded intellectual life. This book underscores the interplay between intellectual and moral virtues, suggesting that a truly virtuous life requires the cultivation of both. Book 7. Continence and Incontinence. Pleasure. Aristotle delves into the challenges of self-control and the pursuit of pleasure, examining the struggle between reason and desire. He distinguishes between continence, self-control, and incontinence, lack of self-control, exploring the psychological and ethical dynamics at play. Aristotle argues that true happiness involves mastering these internal conflicts, choosing rational actions over impulsive desires. He also reassesses the role of pleasure in the good life, arguing that not all pleasures are worthwhile, and that true happiness comes from activities aligned with virtue. This book addresses the complexities of human nature, acknowledging the difficulties in consistently choosing the virtuous path. Aristotle's nuanced discussion invites readers to reflect on their own experiences of temptation and the pursuit of pleasure, emphasizing the importance of wisdom and self-awareness in ethical living. Book 8. Friendship. In Book 8, Aristotle explores the vital role of friendship in human life, describing it as a necessary good that contributes to our overall happiness. He categorizes friendship into 3 types: those based on utility, pleasure, and the good. Aristotle argues that friendships based on the good are the highest form, as they are rooted in mutual respect and a shared commitment to virtue. He highlights how true friends seek the good for each other's sake, creating a bond that transcends self-interest. This discussion emphasizes the importance of virtuous friendships in fostering personal growth and moral development. Book 9. More on friendship. Continuing his discussion on friendship, Aristotle delves deeper into the dynamics of friendship and its implications for ethical living. He examines how equality and reciprocity are essential for sustaining friendships, especially those based on virtue. Aristotle also explores the challenges of friendship, such as jealousy and conflict, offering insights on how to navigate these issues. He emphasizes the transformative power of virtuous friendships in enhancing our capacity for good and facilitating mutual growth. This book further underscores the idea that true friendships are a reflection of our highest aspirations for ourselves and our community. Book 10. Pleasure and Happiness. In the final book, Aristotle returns to the themes of pleasure and happiness, synthesizing his earlier discussions to offer a comprehensive vision of the good life. He argues that the highest form of happiness is achieved through intellectual contemplation, which provides a pure and lasting pleasure unmatched by physical or temporary delights. Aristotle reaffirms the importance of virtue in achieving true happiness, suggesting that a life of moral and intellectual excellence is the most fulfilling. He also addresses the role of leisure and education in cultivating a life conducive to happiness, emphasizing the importance of societal structures that support the pursuit of virtue. This book concludes Aristotle's ethical inquiry by presenting a holistic view of human flourishing, where pleasure, virtue, and intellectual activity converge. Aristotle's final reflections challenge readers to consider the profound connection between their daily choices, their pursuit of knowledge, and their ultimate happiness. Accountability lessons. Own your choices. Your decisions shape your character. Strive for improvement. Virtue requires consistent practice. Find balance. Aim for the mean in your actions for moral virtue. Leadership takeaways. Embody virtues. Lead by showing, not just telling. Use wisdom. Make decisions with both ethics and practicality in mind. Build ethical teams. Promote a culture of respect and ethical growth. And there you have it, folks. Aristotle's Guide to Winning at Life. It's all about balance, virtue, and a bit of brain power. If you love diving into these ancient secrets with a modern twist, smash that like button, subscribe for more wisdom, and remember, the good life is waiting for you. Let's make it happen. Until next time, stay virtuous.